Hello guys, I think we are live now. I'm going to just give a broad overview of what we have in mind for the day, and then we'll go on to this. And we're going to solve a bunch of questions that appeared in CAT 2017 from the DILR section. So data interpretation and logical reasoning is what we're looking to focus on this time. Within that, we're going to take two sets which were interesting and fun to solve, and then have a go at those. So I'm going to solve the questions that come from one question with the electives from E1 to E7, people shifting from one batch to another. As ever, I'm going to display the question on the screen, give you some time to have a go at it. The questions are also going to be typed out on the Facebook page. It'll also be there, the description of this YouTube video. So you can read the question from multiple platforms. I'm also going to share the screen and let it be there for some time. Since it's a DILR set and it's a reasonably challenging one, I'm going to stay quiet for up to 10 minutes. And so if you've already tried this, then give it another go, get yourself familiar with this so that we can have an approach. We can have some discussion, or you can meaningfully take part in the solving part. If you're doing it for the first time, then from the word go, have a crack at this. And so I'm going to now share the screen so that you can see the question. The question is over 2 different slides, so I'm going to toggle across the 2 slides so that you will get a clear idea. The question is anyway going to be put down, written down, displayed clearly on our Facebook page. So if you want to see it in one shot, go through the Facebook page. There's also a table which I'm going to leave for display so that you can see the whole all the moving parts on this on our Facebook page, on the YouTube description, and on the slide that you can see here. Because it's a DILR, it's that little bit tougher to share details and questions and tables and graphs and all that. We'll get around that, and we'll use multiple platforms to see and notice, and we'll get around that. And so I'm going to share the screen. From then you can see the question and we can discuss that. There were 7 elective courses, E1 to E7, running in a specific term in a college. Each of the 300 students enrolled had chosen just one elective from among these 7. However, before the start of the term, E7 was withdrawn as the instructor concerned had left the college. The students who had opted for E7 were allowed to join any of the remaining electives. Also, the students who had chosen other electives were given one chance to change their choice. The table below captures the movement of the students from one elective to another during this process. Movement from one elective to the same elective simply means no movement. From E1 to E1 means the student does not change his elective. Some numbers in the table got accidentally erased. However, it is known that these were either 0 or 1. Brilliant. That's a very useful clue. And so some numbers got erased. They're going to be either 0 or 1. And quick recap of facts, 300 students. Each student has chosen only one elective among the 7. So if we added the total number of students who selected E1 to E7, it should add up to 300. Either initially or finally, it doesn't matter. It should add up to 300. E7 finally is going to go to 0. Nobody is going to select E7 because they're all going to shift out. E7 is not even being offered. So E1 to E6 are only going to exist. This table is going to give us some data about where students went from E1 to E3, E3 to E4, E4 to E5, E7 to E1. That is going to be captured on this table. Further, the following are known. Before the change process, there were 6 more students in E1 than in E4. But after the reshuffle, the number of students in E4 was 3 more than that in E1. Originally, there were 6 more in E1 than in E4. After the reshuffle, E4 was 3 more than E1. The number of students in E2 increased by 30 after the change process. E2 became an in-demand course. From E7, people are probably jumping to E2, or from everywhere, they were jumping to E2. Before the change process, E4 had 2 more students than E6, while E2 had 10 more students than E3. And so, bunch of facts. I don't know which ones we'll start from, what is going to be the most interesting to pick. So when you're given constraints like this, take them in, but don't try to retain everything. The theme is important. And then the data set is important. And then we wrap our head around how the data is presented. We just say, look, okay, this is what this means. This is what the sums and differences, that's what they mean. This is what they're trying to convey with this style of data presentation. Completely get a set. If you don't get a set, there's no point reading through these constraints. If you don't know what that table means exactly, then there's no point reading these constraints. So constraint number 1, 2, 3, I don't know what is most important. I don't even understand how this is going to be used. I'm basically saying I'm going to keep this aside for later. And the most critical aspect in DILR is your sequencing of the constraints. What nugget am I going to use first? What does this mean? What is conveyed here? There is a story, there's a table, and then there are constraints. I need to link the table to the story. I need to understand what the table says, right? So I'm going to spend some time understanding this. And so thankfully it says from here to here. And so from E1 to E1 is 9. Are 9 students stuck with E1. They stayed with E1. From E1 to E2, 5 students went to E2 from E1. 10 students went to E3 from E1. 1 went to E4 from E1. 4 went to E5. 2 went to E6. There's no E7 here because E7 is gone. E7 has been removed. So if you look at it column wise, 9 people stayed in E1. 2 came from E3 to E1. 4 came from E7 to E1. We don't know the numbers sitting here. We don't know them. We don't know these. Right? So, critical points here is think about what is meant by sum of all elements here. What is meant by sum of all elements here? Take some time, think about that. We need to understand the presented data. We need to figure out what insights, what inferences we can draw straight away. If you wrap your head around the data presented, then these sets become very simple. So spend some time thinking about this. And so all of these numbers, 9, 34, 25, 14, 9, these are all numbers retained. These many people stayed with that. So 9 people had E6, they continued to have E6. They did not shift out of their elective. Totally, there are 300 students. That's a very interesting data point. Now, make sense of this. From this, what are the best inferences that we can draw? What can we take home and build on? Very vital to do that. Right? So, bunch of cells are empty. That's also interesting. So, number of empty cells, we go column wise. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing empty here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So these many empty cells are there. Important nugget. Now let's go to the question. How many elective courses among E1 to E6 had a decrease in their enrollment after the change process? Basically, now it's like fill the data grid and then we are through. So one part which is interesting here. So this is the final data point. We're going to the solution part. I'm not going to discuss this. I'm going to give you some time and then we'll discuss it. So I've elaborately described this whole data set. We've seen this story and then we've tried to wrap our head around this table. I'm going to say what is useful. I'm going to say complete rows and complete columns mean something. Figure out what these mean and draw your inferences from those. This row has everything filled in. That means something. This column has everything filled in. That means something. Those are very good starting points to think about how they can be used. What do they mean? So figure that out. I've helped you out here, filled in some, added an extra column and an extra row. And so I've said, I'm going to capture all the sums here and all the sums here, the total here. So 9 plus 5, 14, 24, 25, 29, 31. That works. 34 plus 8, 42, 44, 46. That works. 2 plus 6, 8, 8 plus 25, 33, 35. That works. 3 plus 2, 5, 19, 23. Works. 5 plus 30, 35. This works. 7 plus 3, 10. 10 plus 2, 12. Plus 9, 21. This works. 4 plus 16, 20. Plus 30, 50, 55, 60, 101. This works. We've added these column wise also. 9 plus 2, 11 plus 4, 15. 39, 45, 48, 53, 60, 76. 30, 33, 35, 60, 70, 78. 1, 15, 20. 4, 2, 6, 36, 38, 43. 6, 10, 19, 60. All these numbers work. Right? Remember, of these, this number we can be sure of. This is 31. This number we can be sure of. This is 76. This 15 we cannot be sure of. This total need not be 15 because there are empty cells here. But this could be 0 or 1, 0 or 1, 0 or 1, 0 or 1. Likewise, 0 or 1, 0 or 1, 0 or 1, 0 or 1, 0 or 1. So because there's something dicey, something incomplete here, we cannot say this total is 78. This total is 78 or 79. This total is 20 or 21 or 22 or 23 or 24. So each of these could be 0 or 1. This total is 43 or 44 or 45. This one is 60 or 61. So how many of these are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of these 0/1s are there. We add all of these number 1 plus 6, 7, 12, 15, 20, 21, 22, 2, carry over 2, 5, 9, 12, 14, 17, 19, plus 10, 29. So this table gives us information about 292 of the students. So the missing cells account for the remaining 8. And the zeros or ones add up to give us a remaining 8 more. And this whole puzzle, this whole shebang is going to rest on which ones of those are 0, which ones of those are 1. That's it. Nothing more than that. The key to wrap your head around what is happening here. The totals are given, we filled in the data points. Now let us go to the constraints and see if we can make sense of those. And to start with, there are 31 students who originally had elective E1. There are 76 students who ended up with elective E2. And so any constraint where E1 original is given or E2 final is given, I love those. I want to start with those because if you're told that E1 originally had X number of students less than E2 originally or E4 originally, then one of those pieces of the jigsaw I know. The remaining I'll have to crack. And so E1 original or E2 final, that data point is given, we want to attack those two. Finally, this 292 is a big giveaway. So we still have got to account for 8 more. We need to get to 300. So we need information about 8 more students. Or of these cells, 8 of these are ones, remaining are zeros. We have 8 ones and 4 zeros totally. That's how the total will add up to 300. Fine. So we're looking for constraints which had the number of students that were there in E1 originally or the number of students that were there in E2 finally. And we're going to fill in this data set methodically from there. And so let's look at the constraint. So E1, there are 31 students. E3, there are 35. E2, there are 46. But this 46, 35, 23, they're not sure about it. It could be 46 or 47 or 48, depending on how we are accounting for them. Right? So, but E1 we know originally, and E2 finally we know. So let's look for constraints that have E1 originally in them or E2 finally in them. Right? So the first constraint, before the change process, there were 6 more students in E1 than E4. In E1, there were 31. So E4 should have been 25. Remember, E4 had 23 and 2 empty cells, or these 2 empty cells should be 1. That's 2 cells out of 12 we filled in directly. And so E1 has 6 more students than E4 originally. E1 had 31 totally. This we are confident of. That means this number should be 25. So 25, it was 23 originally with 2 empty cells. Both of those empty cells should be 1. So we filled in 2 cells. Super. Out of 12, we've already filled in 2. Let's build this further. Let's look at some other constraint. Before the change process, E4 had 2 more than E6. E4 had 25, 2 more than E6. E6 has 21, 2 more than E6 are, this should be 1, this should be 1. This will change this total, this will change this total. We've not accounted for that. We'll come to that. I'm just filling in the ones. That's obviously the sums will change. We'll worry about that later on. And so now, what are the other constraints that we have? Give me a second. Go back to the constraints to see what the constraints were. So we can do this step by step. 6 more students in E1 than in E4. We've used that. After the reshuffle, number in E4 was 3 more than E1. We'll come back to this. The number of students in E2 increased by 30 after the change process. We know the total after was 76. The total before should have been 46. That's a useful constraint. We're looking for E2 final and E1 original to verify about this. This says before the change process, E4 had 2 more than E6. If we find E4, then we can do something with E6. So let's go step by step back to our grid. These 2 are 1. We've done that. E6 ends with 76. So sorry, E2 ends with 76. This number we are confident of. E2 should have begun with 76 minus 30, which is 46. What does this tell us? These 2 cells should both be 0. And E4 had 2 more than E6 originally, or E6 should go to 23. That means this is 1, this is 1. So we've got 6 out of the 12 cells already in our bag. And wonderful. This total goes to 21. This total is at 18. And the rest we can add layers onto this, find the totals and stick them in, and dot the i's and cross the t's. But you've got 6 cells so far, and super. So let's fill this even further. The total we've added 4 more ones, so this goes to 296. Right? For the remaining, we need to sell 6 more cells. The total has to go to 300, or we should have 4 ones and 2 zeros. We started with requiring 8 ones and 4 zeros. We filled 4 ones. These 2 and these 2 are ones. These 2 are zeros. We've done that. And then we need to figure out the remaining cells. And so now the totals, let's get the totals clearly. 9 plus 2, 11, 11 plus 1, 12, 13, 17, with 1 cell remaining. So this could be 17 or 18. This is 76. We're good with this. 10, 18, 20, 45, 48, 78. This could be 78 or 79. 1 cell remaining. 1, 15, 16, 21. This could be 21 or 22 or 23. 2 cells remaining. This 4 plus 2, 6. 6 plus 1, 7. 37, 39, 44. 44. Let me do the total again. 37, 38, 40, 44. 44 totally. Total could be 44 or 45. And so we've got a sense of what these numbers could be because we've filled half the remaining cells. Right? Now let's go to the other constraints. After the reshuffle, the number of students in E4 was 3 more than that in E1. E4 is 21 or 22 or 23. 21, 22, 23. E1, 17 or 18, only one empty cell. The maximum E1 can be is 18. The minimum E4 can be is 21. We are through. We are home dry. E1 cannot be 22 because then the difference would be 4. What this tells us is this should be maximum. This should be minimum. These two are not possible. It should be a 0. It should be a 0. Now we have only 1, 2, 3 cells remaining. Of the 3 cells, you can even count the ones and zeros and know how many ones should be there and how many zeros should be there. And so we started with saying we needed 8 ones and 4 zeros. We filled 4 ones and 2 zeros. And then we added one more one, 5 ones. And we added 2 more zeros. It becomes 4 zeros. Or what should be the numbers here, here, and here? It should all be 1. We need to add 3 more ones to the process. These 3 should be 1, should be 1, should be 1, should be 1. Once you've done this, make sure the totals add up clearly. The numbers are fine. This is our final grid. It's a kind of question where we do not actually need to solve multiple variants. You've got one final standing point. We know that there are 31 students in E1, 46 in E2, 36 in E3, 25 in E4 when they began. And then it became 18, 76, 78 when they ended. How many shifted from any elective to any other elective? You can just look at this grid and give the answer. And key points here, make sense of the table before you start answering questions or seeing the constraints or looking at the question. When you make sense of the table, if you don't have a clear, crystal clear understanding of what the table means, what does the cell mean? When this, you have picked some cell here, what does it mean? This tells us that 25 students stayed back in E3. They originally selected E3, they continued to be in E3. This says from E4, 5 students jumped to, from E7, 5 students jumped to E4. The remaining cells are 0 or 1 only. There are 12 empty cells. If you can understand how the data is presented, then try it. Otherwise, don't. Right? How many elective courses among E1 to E6 had a decrease in their enrollments? E1 had a decrease from 31, it goes to 18. So E1 had a decrease. E2 46 to 76, that's an increase. 36 to 78, that's an increase. 25 to 21, E4 had a decrease. E5 38 to 45, that's an increase. E6 23 to 61, that is an increase. How many had a decrease? From E7 also decreased, but from E1 to E6, 2 of these declined, E1 and E4. After the change process, which of the following is a correct sequence of number of students in the 6 electives? 18, 76, 78, 21, 45, 61. 18, 76, should have been 79. I think I've made an addition mistake. I've not accounted for this one. So the table is wrong, but this is a choice you're looking for. And once you've got the whole grid, you're just writing down the answers, nothing more than that. After the change process, which course among E1 to E6 had the largest change in its enrollment as a percentage of its original enrollment? We want a percentage change. We're looking for small numbers to begin with. 31 to 18, this is 13 by 31. 46 to 76, 30 by 46. That is larger so far. 36 to 78 in E2. So 36 to 78, 42 by 78. 36 to 78, so this 42 by 36. So far this is largest. 25 to 21, 4 by 25, not so high. 38 to 45, 7 by 38, not so high. 38 to 61, 23 by 61, not so high. 42 by 36 is more than 100% increase in E3. The answer should be E3. Sorry, E3 or E6. The answer says E6. I'm going to look at this. It is 23 to 61. I looked at 38. Sorry about that. 23 to 61. That's a change of 38 by 23. That's more than 100% and more than this. So you're looking at E6 as the right answer. Maximum percentage change. Don't get it wrong, obviously. I can afford to get it wrong. You should be more careful. Right? So later, the college imposed a condition that after the change of elective, the enrollment in any elective other than E7 dropped to less than 20 students. All the students who had left that course will be required to re-enroll for that elective. Which of the following is a correct sequence of electives in decreasing order of their final enrollments? And this is a proper time-consuming question. So from an exam point of view, we'll need to think about, is this good value for time? After this, at the end, this is 76, 78, 21, 45, 61. And so this doesn't change. So these don't change. But E1 has dropped to less than 20. And so people who had all left from E1 have to return to E1. And so 9 stayed back in E1. Right? From E1, 0 went to E2. 2 went to E3. So these two will have to return to E1. And so yes, all the students who had left that course will be required to re-enroll for that elective. From E1, these students have left. So 2 went to E3, 1 went to E4, 5 went to E5. So, sorry, from E1 to others, from E1, 5 went to E2, 10 went to E3, 1 went to E4, 4 went to E5, and 2 went to E6. All the students who had left that course will be required to re-enroll for that elective. So all these are left. So 10, 5 plus 10, 15 plus 1, 16 plus 4, 20 plus 2, 22. So this will increase by 22, we'll go to 40. Right? E2 will reduce by 5, we'll go to 71. E3 will reduce by 10, we'll go to 68. E4 will reduce by 1, or it will go to 20. E5 will reduce by 4, will go to 41. E6 will reduce by 2, will go to 59. Decreasing order of their final enrollments. So the highest would be E2, then E3, then E6, E5, E1, E4 choice A. So E2, E1 kind of misses that constraint. The total does drop to less than 20 students. So anyone who had jumped out of E1 has to come back and re-enroll for E1. Basically saying that this question is not going to be, this course will not even be offered. There are people who have originally chosen it. So all you guys who ran out of this thing, come back and select E1. Now, because of the realignment, the whole table changes. So it's a time-consuming question, but if got this far, might as well have a go and crack that as well. I'm going to go to the next set, a wonderful heavy-duty mathematical set. Try this, give it a read, we'll discuss this. An old woman had the following assets: rupees 70 lakhs in bank deposits, one house worth rupees 50 lakhs, 3 flats, each worth rupees 30 lakhs, certain number of gold coins, each worth rupees 1 lakh. She wanted to distribute her assets among her 3 children, Neeta, Sita, and Geeta. The house, any of the flats, or any of the coins were not to be split. Rather, the house went entirely to one child, a flat went to one child, and similarly, a gold coin went to one child. And so you can't say, look, you take half the house, you take remaining one third, and then you take the remaining after that these two have been distributed. That's not possible. And so among the 3, Neeta received the least amount in bank deposits, while Geeta received the highest. The value of the assets was distributed equally among the children, as were the gold coins. So the total assets was equally distributed. Gold coins were also equally distributed. And the key point here, we don't know how many gold coins were there. I'm going to make sense of this. I'm going to say, there are 70 lakhs here, 50 lakhs here, and 90 lakhs here. Then let's say there are n gold coins. Right? Or the total assets this lady has, 70 plus 50, 120, 120 plus 90, 210 plus n lakhs of rupees. This is our total assets. This was distributed equally. And then gold coins were also given equally. So this is a classic question where it really helps if you can choose your original variables really well. Gold coins were distributed equally. Don't assume the gold coins as n, assume them as 3m. They distribute equally. Each one gets m gold coins. Life is simple. So work with that. So if you tweak the numbers, it's a fabulous question. And so key point here, if the overall assets are distributed equally and gold coins are distributed equally, this should also get distributed equally. Otherwise, one person will get more or less. So I'm going to rejig this question by changing the numbers. I'm going to say not n gold coins, 3m gold coins, 3m gold coins. Neeta, Sita, Geeta, each one gets m gold coins. The total number of other assets, each of them gets 70, 70, 70. This is total, mind you. This is not some component. The total asset they get worth 70 lakhs. This is bank deposits and house and flat, some combination. Right? So remember that these 3 cumulatively should amount to 70 lakhs. Right? Fabulous. So one of them should have got the house. Right? Wonderful. One of them should have got the house. The one who's got the house cannot have got a flat also, because that will take them to 80. And so one of them should have got a house, and whoever has got the house should have got 20 lakhs more. House plus 20 lakhs goes to 1%. Now 3 flats remain to be distributed among the other 2 girls. Nobody could have got all 3 flats. Someone gets all 3 flats, that adds up to 90 lakhs. That's not possible. So 3 flats should be distributed among 2 children. No one could have got all 3. That means one of them gets 1 flat and another gets 2 flats. One who gets 1 flat, that is worth 30 lakhs. So she should have got 40 lakhs in cash, in bank deposit. The one who gets 2 flats should have got 10 lakhs in bank deposits. I think we are done here. Beautiful question. But if you rejig this as 210 plus 3m, you're just walking away with the answers. And so 210 plus 3m, each one should get 70 plus m, total assets. M they get from gold coins straight away in the bag. So we need to worry about the remaining 70. So bank deposits plus house plus some flat. Someone might get the house, someone might not get the house, someone might get 1 flat, 2 flats. The total worth of these 3 for each of them should be 70 lakhs. Whoever gets the house cannot get 1 more flat. That will take us to 80. Whoever gets the house gets 0 flats. House is worth 50 lakhs, so they should get 20 lakhs more. The other 2 should get the remaining 3 flats. No one can get all 3 because it will go to 90. So one of them should have got 1 flat, the other should have got 2 flats. The one who gets 1 flat should get 40 lakhs in bank deposit. The one who gets 2 flat should get 10 lakhs in bank deposits. Okay? So we've split everything. Among the three, Nita received the least amount in bank deposits, or Nita gets 2 flats and 10 lakhs. While Geeta received the highest. Geeta gets 1 flat and 40 lakhs. That means Sita should have got 1 house and 20 lakhs. These are kind of questions with names that I hate. I'll crack this entire question and they'll mix up the Nita, Geetas and Sitas of the world. And, so I hate it when the names are like this. So you've got to be extra careful. So Nita gets 2 flats and 10 lakhs. Geeta gets 1 flat and 40 lakhs. Sita gets a house and 20 lakhs. So all we need to do is read the question and answer them. Done. The whole puzzle has been cracked. How much did Sita receive in bank deposits? Sita received 20 lakhs. 20. Done. How many flats did... This is 20 lakhs. Done. How many flats did Nita receive? Nita received 2 flats. She received 2 flats and 10 lakhs. Or she should. It's a Theta question. TATA. Just putting in 2. We're rushing through this. You're on ice. We just figured the whole thing out and we're done. We're going to solve this entire puzzle in 7-8 minutes. We've made a couple of crucial assumptions and we're done. Not so easy. Not so easy because this is an easy enough puzzle. Question 3 carries a variant. It's not just a takeoff from that filling. And the value of the assets distributed among Nita, Sita and Geeta was in the ratio 1:2:3, while the gold coins were distributed among them in the ratio 2:3:4. One child got all 3 flats and she did not get the house. One child other than Geeta got rupees 30 lakhs in bank deposit. This is fabulous. So they've just got us in a spin by introducing new data points. House gives us 70 lakhs. Flats is 30 into 3. Bank deposits, house is worth 50 lakhs. Bank deposit is worth 70 lakhs. And then gold coins. And these 3 add up to 210. There are n gold coins. That's what we assumed originally. Let's break this. The total assets were broken in the ratio 1:2:3. Remember, 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. So the total asset would have had to be a multiple of 6. You can't break this down because you're getting a flat and house and gold coins. The total asset distributed goes in steps of 1 gold coin at least, steps of 1, or the total asset has to be a multiple of 6. And so 210 is a multiple of 6, or this number n should also be a multiple of 6. This really helps. This is a breakthrough. Now this n is distributed in the ratio 2:3:4. Let's say it is 2x, 3x, 4x. 2x plus 3x plus 4x is 9x. Or n should also be a multiple of 9. Or n should be a multiple of 6 and 9. What does this give you? This is where this question becomes a classic. It's a multiple of 6 and of 9, or it's a multiple of 18. Or don't call this n, call this 18k. So now we are on to something. Now I'm going to go to this question. We need some more space. I'm going to go to the relevant part of this question. But we are discussing this. So now I'm going to say the total assets. So house is worth 50. Flats we have 30 into 3. Bank deposits we have 70. Gold coins we have 18k. And how many gold coins did the old woman have? Really would have been lovely if only one of these 4 were a multiple of 18. As it turns out, the guys setting these questions are reasonably smart people. So all 4 of them are multiples of 18. Right? So what do they get? The total asset is 210 plus 18k. This is broken in the ratio 1:2:3. And so 210 plus 18K broken in the ratio 1:2:3. I'm going to divide this by 6, get 35 plus 3K. Right, so 35 plus 3K is what 1%. This by 6, 210 by 6, 35 plus 3K, 70 plus 6K, 105 plus 9K. 1:2:3. What am I doing here? I'm saying let this get broken as X, 2X and 3X. 6X is 210 plus 18K. X is 210 plus 18K by 6, which is 35 plus 3K. 2X is 70 plus 6K. 3X is 105 plus 9K. The gold coins were distributed in the ratio 2:3:4. And 2:3:4 is where how the gold coins are distributed. So the get gold coins worth 4K, 6K, 8K. Adding up to 18K, the gold coins they get are 4K, 6K, 8K. Right? One child got all 3 flats and she did not get the house. One child other than Geeta got rupees 30 lakhs in bank deposit. So I'm going to capture all of this and then see this. Right? I'm going to do a very quick recap. Total value X, 2X, 3X, 6X should be so 210 plus M should be a multiple of 6. So M is a multiple of 6. So M should be 6A. Gold coins were distributed in the ratio 2:3:4. Total number of gold coins 9Y. M should be a multiple of 9. Should be a multiple of 6 and 9. So it should be a multiple of 18. Or the total value of assets is 210 plus 18K. Split in the ratio 1:2:3. Or you get 35 plus 3K, 70 plus 6K, 105 plus 9K. Fine. The gold coins are distributed in the ratio 2:3:4 or 4K, 6K, 8K. And so this 335 plus 3K, I'm writing it as 35 minus K plus 4K. This is gold coins. This is non-gold. This is 70 plus 6K. 6K comes from gold coins. This is non-gold. 105 plus K plus 8K. So this is non-gold. This is gold. And here we know that one child got all 3 flats and she did not get the house. One child got all 3 flats. She did not get the house. And so all 3 flats, who should have got that? Think about it. Who should have got all 3 flats? One child other than Geeta got rupees 30 lakhs in bank deposits. One of Sita and Geeta got 30 lakh in bank deposit. Sita could not have got 30 lakhs in bank deposits. Because if she got 30 lakhs, then the remaining amount she will have is 40 plus 6K. Let's look at this. Sita could not have got 30 in bank deposit. The remaining should have been 40 plus 6K. 6K is gold. Should have got 40 in bank and, in terms of house and flat. That's not possible. So Neeta should have got 30 lakhs in bank deposit. So Sita could not have got 30. So Neeta should have got 30 in bank deposit. Neeta gets 35 minus K plus 4K worth of assets. Or this number, 30K. Or K is 5. Remember, we started with a total asset of 210 plus 18K. If K were 5, we're looking at 18 into 5, 90 gold coins total. Or Our Lady has 210 plus 90 gold coins distributed in the ratio 1:2:3. Coins distributed in the ratio 2:3:4. Everything else you can answer from there. And so the total number of gold coins that she had is 90. K is 5. 18 into K is 90. This question gets extraordinarily simplified if you assume the number of gold coins to be 18K and not some A or B. This 18 makes life very simple. The value of the assets distributed among Nita, Sita, and Geeta was in the ratio 1:2:3. And the gold coins 2:3:4. One got all three flat. She did not get the house. One child other than Geeta got rupees 30 lakhs in bank deposits. How much did Sita get in bank deposits? We've done the whole thing. We completed this. You've seen that Nita gets 30 lakhs and 4K in gold. Sita gets 70 lakhs and 6K in gold. Geeta gets 105 plus K, 110 plus 8K in gold. And so Nita get 30 lakh bank deposit. Geeta should have got all three flats. Sita will get the house and 20 lakhs, or the amount Sita gets in bank deposits is 20 lakhs. And wonderful set. Temptingly easy because the first two questions are a complete walk. Third and fourth are tougher, trickier. Key point here, if you're thinking about 1:2:3, you're thinking the total is 6K. 2:3:4, you're thinking the total is 9K. So the number of gold coins has to be a multiple of 6 and 9. Stick it in as 18K and then you're done. This question becomes far simpler. So it's a ratios question. Question that's where the entire trick is in taking your original assumptions appropriately. Making sure that you write down that overall number of gold coins number as 18K makes life so much easier rather than take it as N or K or M. And that alone can take you through directly to the answer. And we don't have much time to proceed on from here, so I'm going to stop with this. It's a wonderful set. The best questions that have been there, that are there for DILR practice are probably the ones that appeared in the exam actually. This is a fabulous way to practice for DILR. So definitely go through those questions. You've got 8 plus 8, 16 sets handed on a platter, which together collectively should give you wonderful practice overall, where you get a full download on the everything similar to CAT. You're going to get an absolutely clear benchmark on what is this CAT level of difficulty. And so that is very important. So because right now everybody on their dog is doing DILR preparation. And so you've got to fine tune this. DILR preparation can be too easy and not be up to the CAT level. And conversely, it can be so tough because CAT has increased the level of difficulty. I see so many out of whack DI questions out there that are downright scary. You will never get a question that tough. Fine. So it can be intimidating. You can look at DI sets and try 45 minutes, 50 minutes and not get it right. The two sets that we discuss, both could have been solved potentially by someone on totally top of their game in 10, 11 minutes. If you make the right set of assumptions, move the right way. The best DILR sets are like this. You will lose time in dropping a set and making a mistake and muddling through. But if you get everything right, they're imminently crackable. You're not going to get a DI set which says, write down the 12 possibilities for all cycles. Just writing it down will take 25 minutes. And then select a few of them. They're not going to be that tough. And on the mothership for preparing and getting a sense of how difficult this is going to be actual CAT paper. So take the CAT 2017 paper, go through all 8 sets, try them, give them a full-fledged go. See a few solutions online, seeing which ones are the really good ones, where it's an intuitive solution where you go step by step methodically without jumping bus, and then define your preparation from there on. And so that is very useful because in DILR you can get carried away doing lots of overly difficult questions. You need to have a sense of this tough and no tougher. That's important. And for that, providing that benchmark, CAT 2000 questions are the absolute best. They're a beast. Keep that in mind. And so I've had, I thought the paper was fabulous when I was actually attempting it. I did not really well in DILR because I had not practiced sufficiently, and I think I was put off by a couple of sets where I ended up spending too much time for too little return. And all the gyan I gave about selecting the right question, dumping them early, not letting your ego get in the way of answering a question, all that, I made all those mistakes. And so a fabulous paper because it was delightfully tough. I quite enjoyed doing it. So definitely take some time out, solve all 16 sets. We're going to do all 16 one way or the other over the next 3-4 weeks online. So before we do them, definitely try those questions. We'll try to see if we can find nice, juicy, wonderful solutions so that if you've gone by a roundabout method, it can be useful to see a better method somewhere. And if any of you solved by a method better than what we're discussing here, do chime in, drop it in the comments board, send me an email. We'll fix that. We'll incorporate that and showcase the better solution. Okay? All the best. Prepare for DILR with a sense of fun. Oh my God, I'm cracking good puzzles. I'm enjoying myself. That's the attitude we should aim to carry for cracking this. Keep that in mind. Don't get bogged down by DILR. It's like solving Sudoku puzzles or crosswords. It can be fun if done the right way. So push yourself to enjoy that. Very vital. So, okay, all the best. Let's circle back with probably one more session next week. We'll stick with DILR.